horrible day with these predators, okay? You'll have good days with these predators. It's all to manipulate your mind. You'll have a day where they will feed you. You'll have a day where they will actually spend time with you and tell you how pretty you are. Or you'll have a day where they might actually buy you clothes and show you off as if you're their world, or even tell you that they love you when you should know that they definitely don't. In my case, I did not know that. So I'm not blaming anyone. If you don't know that, I totally understand, because I didn't necessarily know that, because I didn't know what love was, because love to me was abuse. Love to me was what I experienced as a child, which was abandonment, abuse. Like, I didn't know anything else. So I didn't identify with love as being like a positive emotion. I thought it was just, okay, so when a person loved me, they must leave me, because that's what happened to me with my parents. When a person loved me, they must, beat the crap out of me. Like, that seems like love. So I just didn't know what to expect. But yeah, he only wanted to force himself on me, and it was in a very violent way. And I just think it's very important for me to get this story out and say it over and over again if I have to save someone. I don't want any of you girls watching, or any of you women watching that's going through this, to think that I'm too flowery with my story. I want to be as raw as possible. So the next question is, who tried to help you and how many times? Okay, so I had several people try to help me, actually, especially, and more so in the strip club than I did on the street, okay? So the ones in the strip club, like, I have a story that I've never told anyone, but I had actually seen someone that I grew up with, an older guy, and he happened to be there or whatever, and, he didn't recognize me because I was all suited up. I had on, my hair, and like, you have the glitz and the glam, which is another thing that a lot of girls get attracted to in the lifestyle. Glitz, glam, hair, makeup, all of those things. And once he turned me around, he recognized me, and he said, "Keisha, oh my goodness, I need to get you out of here. I need to get you out of here." And he literally was, trying to cover me up, like, "Let me get you out of here." He knew me my whole life. Like, he knew me since I was a baby. He knew my parents, knew my grandmother, everybody. And I was like, wait, I'm afraid. I really want to get out of here, but it's something I have to tell you. And he was talking so fast and freaking out, like, "I got to get you out of here now. Come on, you're about to go now." And I just kept saying, "Something I have to tell you." And as soon as we made it to the door, I would say the sex trafficker or the pimp, whichever one you prefer, that you could relate to, he was standing like right there. And by the time me and the guy made it to the door, he had already pulled out his pistol, and he told the guy, "If you try to leave with her, I'm about to kill you. I'm gonna kill you." And that's exactly how that went. So the guy, he was frightened. I was like, "That's what I was trying to tell you." And he left, never seen or heard from him again. But I don't feel angry because of that. I don't feel sad because of that part, because I felt like I'm thankful that somebody cared enough to even want to rescue me, And everybody don't have the courage to just go past a gun. I didn't have the courage to fight past the gun. I was scared. He scared the daylights out of me with the gun. So I can understand a person like being afraid to like do anything further. So yeah, so that was one of the times I escaped. Well, I tried to escape, or somebody tried to rescue me, and it did not work. There were other times, many other times, where I met people that I was being sold to, and once they got me to their self in that room, and we began to have a conversation, they said, "You seem like a nice girl." Like, I could see past all of this makeup and all of this, and why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And isn't there something else you could be doing? And that's when the real me started to come out, even, full of all of because also what I did mention in the other video, that he would give me drinks, and it did have like date rape drugs in it. I know it for a fact because before I went into the club or before he put me outside on the stroll, I would be freaking out. I would be crying. So I definitely could relate to you girls, whoever's watching, that have a past with, you know, sex trafficking or being a stripper or any of that, like whichever you can identify with the most. But whoever have a past with that, or even if you're in it now, I know exactly how you feel. There is no way, and I don't care what anyone says, if you've never done this, then it's best to just be quiet, okay? There's no way that you can perform all of these acts, all of these sexual acts, especially being forced like I was, and be totally sober. I'm sorry. So no, I didn't get involved in hard drugs, but I'm not judging anybody that did, because to me, I understand it, because it's just like you're constantly being humiliated. You're constantly being called bees, and you know, for lack of a better term, because it says YouTube, but you know what the word, you know what the letter B stands for. So you're constantly being called B's and, you know, H's and just adding your name, and guys treat you like you're nothing, and then you get treated like you're nothing by these predators as well. So it's almost like you're almost like suicidal. So it was many times that I got ready to go into the club, or many times where he was about to sell me outside, and I would just be crying. I would just be crying so hard because I did not want to do it. And I would be begging, please don't make me do it. I would do anything. Whatever else you want me to do, I would do it. Please don't make me do it. And a lot of those times, I'm not going to lie, I got beat up because everybody had their own personality with this. So my personality is feisty, you know, so even though I was going through that, I still had like a feisty character, and I believe that I probably got beat more than the average person because I was always trying to escape. I was always trying to fight and, you know, speak up for myself and like, no, I don't want to do it. Like, you're going to do it or I'm going to kill you. Ain't no, you don't want to do it. I'm about to kill you if you don't. You have to do it. So it just got to a point where he started giving me these drinks. And I just remember him putting something in these drinks, and he would tell me what he was putting in there. So I know for a fact that it was a date rape drug because I'm bawling, I'm crying, I don't want to do it, I'm feeling super depressed. Then all of a sudden I'm taking this drink, and now I'm just, you know, I turn into a totally different person. And that would last pretty much the whole night until everything was over, and then I would come down from that, and then I would start to feel extremely depressed and extremely suicidal all over again. So yeah, I could definitely understand that, but I want to let you know, suicide is not the answer. I definitely know how you feel, but if you're watching this video and you're struggling with feelings of being down or being suicidal, please go get help. As a matter of fact, I'm going to list a suicide hotline for you. You can call there, or you can also contact me at my organization. Just go to armedwomen.org, and I will definitely link you to the right support system. Okay, so the next question is, okay, so I think I answered it. It was, why were you forced to carry a cup? And I just spoke about the pimp cup and why he forced me to carry it. It was basically just something to degrade me. They want to degrade you. They want to make you feel the lowest you ever felt, where you couldn't possibly feel like you worth anything better. They don't want you to feel like you're worth anything. That's the whole point. And I don't care how beautiful you are. You might be thinking, well, you know what? I look better than her, or I'm real pretty, but most of the time, honestly, girls that get involved in this and get kidnapped by these predators, they don't feel like that. They have low self-esteem, and they could be the prettiest girl in America, but their self-esteem is so low, and that's why these predators target those women. But yeah, they just want to keep your self-esteem all the way down to the ground so that you'll keep being totally submissive and doing what they want you to do. The next question is, how long were you in the life? This is another question I did not answer in my previous video, but I was in the life. I was only in the life for probably about 6 months. So it doesn't seem long, but imagine how long 6 months could go when you're like practically being almost killed every day. You know what I mean? Like, I was to the point where I felt like I was almost about to die every single day. So that was the worst 6 months of my life. It felt like hell on earth. Okay. So yeah, 6 months felt like 6 years, to be honest. My next question is, let's see. Okay, so they asked, did you ever fight back? Yes. I think I answered that one already as well. I didn't physically fight back because I was way too afraid. He had too many weapons that he was either threatening me with or actually, pulling guns on me and hitting me with his fists and belts and all type of stuff. So I would say, yeah, I tried to fight back. I mean, as much as you could try to fight back being an 18-year-old. Like, we figure 18 is legal and it's grown. Actually, no. I was still a baby. I had just got out of high school. I barely made 18, to be honest. So, I fought back as much as an 18-year-old could try to fight back, to be honest. I mean, and again, another question that I know you guys are going to ask probably later is, how old was he? Well, at the time, I was 18 and he was about 34. He was about the age I am now because I'm 34 now. So, yeah, I'm 18 and this is the 34-year-old. And then he also had helping hands. He had women that's helping him. He had men that would be helping him. It wasn't just him. I've been in whole houses where, and you think that this don't actually exist? You think that this is only on movies? No, this really exists in the flesh. I've been in houses where he took me where they would have meetings where it was nothing but sex traffickers. And it was also girls like myself, and some of them had children, some of them didn't. And they were getting beat consistently too. As a matter of fact, the people that they were with was so rough, it made the person that, had kidnapped me look like an angel. I mean, they were so bad on those girls. It was just horrible. Like, some of them had to bark like a dog. Like, they would have these meetings. And this really exists in real life, where they would just discuss how bad they would treat us, how much money they would try to get, how they were never going to let us free. And if we left, then we would have to die to get out of it. It's no leaving. It's like, I'm about to kill this bee. Like, she better not ever leave me. She better not ever do this today. So yeah, it's really real. Whew. Yeah. Okay, so the other question is, did he look for you? Absolutely. He always looked for me. As a matter of fact, like I said before, like the 3 times that I tried to get away, he looked for me every single time, and he captured me 2 of those times. And when I say captured, I mean, I called myself at a friend's house, and, this was supposed to be a close friend of mine, and she ended up telling, that accident, I guess, on the streets, like where I was. Like, she had told to another friend that her friend couldn't be trusted because this person actually was in cahoots with the predator. That was the sex trafficker for me. So I'm thinking, thank God I'm finally free, and I get snatched up off the street, with a bag over my head and thrown into a car. So I was extremely scared because every time that you try to get away, and this is just an FYI for those who are thinking about getting into their life because you want to do the glitz and glam, or those who are in their life that want to get out, it's so hard. I'm not going to even say it's so hard to get away because there are organizations just like mine. And also I know of, a few really good organizations that will help you as well. But they always try to get you. There's no getting away. Like, they really, and especially when you try to run away, just like an abuser, it's almost like what I went through is, it mimics the actions of an abuser because they always try to, grab you back. And each time you try to get away, it's more and more painful because they don't want you to leave. So of course they're going to try to let me really try to kill her this time, so she won't leave and ever get away. So the other question is, okay, so I guess they wanted to know, how did I get away? I was writing these questions, guys. You got to bear with me because I received some of these questions through my inbox, and I wrote them out like the best I could, but some of these questions wasn't clear. So if you have any more questions, make sure you definitely hit the description box below and just, you know, write your questions and I'll do my best to try to answer them. But, so I guess they're asking, okay, they're asking like, how did I get away? So, as I said in the first video, I don't know if I was clear though on how I got away. But like I said, God was with me. God is the answer. Like, you know, I'm sorry to those who may not believe in a higher power. I'm sorry that I don't have another answer. But that really was the only answer. That was my only out. And I'm sure like the person who was asking like, well, how did you get away? Wanted to know that because in the last video, I basically was mentioning God, and I guess maybe I wasn't clear. So I'm gonna be clear in this one. God got me away. It was no, you know, miracle person really to get me away. Because actually what I did not mention in the other video is that the guys that I ran into, and you guys could just watch the other video, I'll also link that below. But the guys that I ran into, where I was like, you know, if they mention God, I'm going with them. If they mention God, I'm going with them. I feel like God led me to those guys, but at the same token, what I did not mention is that, you know, they took me to this convention and everything, got me there, talked to me, super nice, okay? Tell me, go in there, take a shower, get all cleaned up. We feel so sorry for you. You don't deserve that at all. We're about to take you to your pastor. I get out the shower, I get cleaned up, I get on my, you know, back on my clothes and everything. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. I get to the door, they're all lined up at the door. So I knew what that meant because at this point, I was very streetwise. I mean, you get streetwise from being out there and me watching so many movies and just learning the way things is. So I felt like, I know what this means. Like they think that I'm about to engage in that activity with them. And I don't know, I was just thinking, let me think quick. And I'm thinking like, who is the leader? Because you learn to be seductive in this lifestyle. It's nothing that I'm proud of, but I just learned to be seductive because that was the lifestyle I was in and I was being forced to do it. So, you know, I got the leader and I talked to him and I was like, hey, if I go in this room, you know, shut the door with you, like, will you make them leave me alone? And we basically made a business agreement. And I'm sorry, I know I'm probably going to get judged for this. But again, if you're not in my shoes, you don't know what I went through. I was fighting for my life, okay? So yes, I went in there with him. And he made sure that the others left me alone. And he did take me to my pastor. But I don't give him any, like, really real credit for that. I feel like it was God. I know it was God. I know it was God. Because I was running for my life even before that from all type of like other sex traffickers, and this was downtown Chicago. So I'm running for my life from different sex traffickers, chasing me with guns and knives, like, you know, ducking corners and alleys. My foot was bleeding. I had glass all over my foot, and they like, get that beat, get a for reckless eyeballing and all of this stuff. And I didn't even really understand fully what was going on. Now that's when I actually escaped. So that happened before I ran into the guys that I'm speaking of, the Arabian guys that I ended up going with, and then they took me to my pastor or whatever. Yeah, but God, nothing but God. And if I'm gonna tell this story, and if I'm gonna reveal all the nakedness and all the shame of what happened to me, I'm definitely gonna give God all the glory. So yeah, if you don't believe in God, I would suggest that you start believing in something, especially with COVID-19 and everything. That makes everybody believe in something. So I'm just telling you what saved me. So God saved me. You know, I'm not knocking nobody else. I'm not big on judging or any of that. But yeah, that's what saved me. So the next question is, what happened to the man who helped you escape? I have no idea. Honestly, I never heard from him again after that. I believe that, you know, they got out of it. Well, not they, but he got out of it where he was seeking to get out of it. So it was no point for him to like see me again or anything. And as a matter of fact, after I finally escaped, my family and my church family hid me out for about 6 months. So I was hiding out. Like I didn't go outside or anything. And I just remember my family was telling like, I guess, the sex trafficker was trying to go by my grandmother's house, which I was hidden you know, somewhere else, like at my mom's house, but he was going by my grandmother's house, you know, trying to act like he's trying to find me. And I just remember that they acted like I was, you know, something had happened to me, and they threatened to call the police. And he finally left, you know, let me be, because he started getting scared. I guess like maybe he'll go to jail or whatever. But she said after a while, after about 2 months, like nobody seen him no more. Nobody seen the other guy no more. So yeah, that was good. But I just stayed hiding out because I was just that afraid. I didn't want to be outside at all. I mean, after all of that happened to me outside, that was the last place I wanted to be. Also, another thing I want to mention is, just like in the movies, like a lot of this stuff in the movies is real. A lot of this stuff in the movies, some of it is like not real. But I will say, just like in the movies, my first time like being in a club or whatever, there were girls there that, you know, got close up on me. Like, as I said before, they work with the predator. They are the predator's girls, and you don't know it. So I'm just like,